Welcome to The Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. I wanted to talk about this story because this has just the world we're living in is just crazy to me. But okay, the story I read on NPR.org, and it is about a young woman who had to have a biopsy done. Okay, she has had a history of breast cancer in her family, was going to have a biopsy done, and I'm not going to read her name or anything like that. You guys can Google this if you want to dig more into the story. I'm going to give you plenty in this talk that I'm going to have with you right now that you'll be able to Google it and find out everything. But I'm just going to read from the section that talks about the medical service that she was getting. An ultrasound-guided breast biopsy. The service provider is Grand Strand Medical Center, okay, which is a 403-bed for-profit hospital in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It is one of 182 hospitals owned by Nashville-based HCA Healthcare, which generated $58.7 billion in revenue last year. She was told that she had to have this procedure done. She was told that it would run her about $1,400. Okay, $1,400. Stick with me. The total bill ended up coming to her for $17,979 for the procedure that included lab work, pharmacy charges, and sterile supplies. Cigna's in-network negotiated rate was $8,424.14, of which the insurance company paid the hospital $3,254.47. The woman was billed $5,169.67, the balance of her deductible. So, the next section says, what gives? So, here is the deal. People, pay attention to this, because I promise you, a lot of y'all don't know about this one, okay? Some of you may already have, thank God, but listen up. It's not uncommon for uninsured patients or a patient willing to pay a cash price to be charged far less for a procedure that patients with health insurance. For the nearly 30% of American workers with high deductible plans, like this young lady, that means using insurance can lead to a far bigger expense than if they had been uninsured or just pulled out a credit card to pay in advance. G. Bai, an associate professor at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, recently published research on this topic and says hospitals in the U.S. often set their cash prices lower than the prices they charge to treat commercially insured patients. We can very confidently say this is very common, says Bai, who advised that all patients, regardless of their insurance status, inquire about the cash price before undergoing a procedure. It should be the norm. So let me give that to you in layman's terms. Regardless if you have insurance, find out from the hospital or whatever it is, whoever is doing the billing, find out what the cash cost would be out of pocket, because it may be much cheaper than what you will end up paying for the procedure. So when your insurance pays their piece to the hospital, then the hospital bills you for the rest. 9 times out of 10, That price, had you just paid it out of pocket, will be cheaper than you going through your insurance. Okay? Grand Strand charged this young lady, let me say this another way because it's saying her name. Grand Strand charged this young lady's insurance an extraordinarily high price for her procedure. By comparison, according to the federal government's website, Medicare patients who need an ultrasound-guided biopsy, similar to the one that she received, would pay only $300. They're required 20% coinsurance for outpatient care. Medicare would pay the hospital the remainder of the bill, about somewhere around $1,200. The hospital expected more than 5 times the Medicare price from her and her insurer. Patients in Conway with private health insurance who are treated at other hospitals also typically are charged less than what she paid for the same procedure. On average, about $3,500, according to Fair Health Consumer, an organization that analyzes health insurance claims, and uninsured patients who pay cash prices and need an ultrasound guided breast biopsy at the nearby Conway Medical Center are likely to owe even less, about $2,100, according to Allison Floyd, a spokesperson for the hospital. Meanwhile, Grand Strand Medical Center spokesperson Caroline Pursuer blamed a glitch involved in the hospital's online, quote-unquote, glitch, involved in the hospital's online calculator for the inaccurate information that this young lady received, and said that the correct estimate for the cash price for a breast biopsy at the hospital is between $8,000 to $11,500. So between $8,000 and $11,500, depending on the exact procedure and equipment used. The hospital removes certain procedures from the payment estimator until they can be corrected. This is what Pursuer wrote. She did not say how long that would take. The resolution. This young lady tried disputing the charges with the hospital. She called the billing department and was offered a 36% discount, lowering the amount that she needed to pay to $3,306.29. Grand Strand Medical Center allows patients to set up payment plans, but this young lady decided to charge the full amount to a credit card because she wanted the whole thing to go away. I could not sleep. It was driving me crazy. I was having migraines. I was sick to my stomach, she said. I hate having debt, and I didn't want to think about it. Obviously, that didn't work because I'm still thinking about it. She said she requested on multiple occasions to speak to the hospital's patient advocate and was eventually connected with an outside company, Parallon, which conducted an audit of her bill. She eventually received a letter dated May 26 from the hospital's Revenue Integrity Department. It stated, after review of the charges in question and your medical record, the following was identified. The charges on your account were appropriate. I don't know why I actually expected a different outcome. The hospital has requested that this young lady return for a follow-up appointment related to the biopsy. She has refused. Harlow Summerford, a spokesperson for HCA Healthcare, told KHN in an email that the hospital system apologizes for any confusion caused by the payment estimator, and we are working to fix the issue. The takeaway. With a family history of breast cancer, this young lady was right to follow up with her doctor after feeling a lump. After failing to get a clear answer on her costs from Grand Strand Medical Center, she could have taken an additional step to explore what other hospitals in the area charge. Although her physician referred her to Grand Strand, she was not obligated to use that hospital. She could have saved a significant amount of money by opting to undergo the procedure elsewhere. Furthermore, patients like this young lady, who have a high deductible insurance plan, should consider paying cash prices for certain procedures and not involving the insurance company at all. And it goes on into some other stuff here. And I apologize, I've got the hiccups coming out of nowhere. This is, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. So the takeaway from this really overall is that make sure that whatever procedure that you're going to have, whatever it is, make sure that you find out what the cash price is. Find out what the cash price is that you would pay out of pocket, and then see what it's going to be with your health insurance company. And if there's leftover for you to pay from your health insurance, once your health insurance pays their portion and then you get the last of the bill, compare what the cash price is to the last of what would be your bill once your insurance company pays their piece, and see which one is lower, because you're coming out of pocket anyway to pay that last piece. So find out what it would be in cash. And it may be something as simple as putting it on a credit card or whatever the case may be, because if you're going to do that anyway, after the insurance company pays their piece, if you're going to do that anyway, then you're in the same boat. But check to see which one is cheaper, because I never really paid much attention to this. I have had the best insurances, and there was a time where I didn't have any insurance, and you had to try to figure out ways around that. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum with this, not even realizing that this is what's going on. So it may be news to some of you guys. Some of you may be very familiar with that, but definitely if you did not know, the overall takeaway from this is whatever procedure that you have to have, check with your insurance and see what your final payment is going to be, and then check with that place that's doing the procedure to see what the cash amount would be out of pocket. And if the cash amount is cheaper than what you would pay after insurance gets done, pay out of pocket. Easiest thing to do, because this lady literally would have paid for $1,400, and she ended up paying, she was being billed 5 times that. And then they offered her a discount. First of all, I didn't even know that you could dispute bills and be offered a discount. Maybe they did that because they were trying to save face and they knew something went wrong. But 36% discount is a pretty large discount. So I would, that just tells me dispute everything. You know what I'm saying? Dispute everything. The worst that they could tell you is no. Right? Dispute it. And if you get some savings from it, Godspeed, because this young lady did. But anyway, as I said, this was an article on NPR.org, and thank NPR.org for even putting this information out there. Wow, it's just crazy to me that this sort of thing goes on. But like I said, I bring interesting things about business and lifestyle, and this is a kind of a lifestyle health thing that, since we're in a recession right now, there's a lot of people that are uninsured. There are a lot of people that their insurance is really not that great. This right here is a good example of how to do your due diligence, so I'm glad, NPR brought this to my attention. So hopefully you guys will take heed to this, and hopefully you haven't overspent on procedures and things in situations like this, because this just goes to show you that, these so-called healthcare companies, they're out here to make money. It's about money. And we got to look out for each other. So This is my way of bringing this to the forefront if you didn't know. You know what? On that note, you know we keep it real over here. Why somebody would have called me while I'm in the middle of doing this podcast? Why? Anyway, look up the article. It talks about an $18,000 biopsy on NPR.org. Thank you, NPR, for keeping us in the loop of things. I definitely love their news reporting. And on that note, I am out. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Connect with me over on Instagram at Onyx Queen Media. Now, look at that. Now they're leaving me a voicemail. Goodbye, you guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With one click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.